go. And there we are. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. All right. All right, we got a little feedback. Got to figure that out. We do not want to have any feedback. And we'll see where that comes from. So hang on, and we will be, this is, I hope you're all watching. Stay with me here. This is I'm going to call this, I'm going to change the name. No, I'm not going to change the name, but I can go from Sports Gluttons to, uh, what? To the most unprepared host of a sports show on the internet. You know what? I have like a NASA thing. Oh, I have a hockey puck there, so I could do that. I can do that. So that's me over there. So, okay, now I'm going to figure out the feedback. But we are in week 3 of NFL week. So I hope we get some guests or sports gluttons to join us today. And we had an interesting week. Week 2 is always a change up from week 1. We could go to let's see what the results of week 2 were. So you could see the week 2 results, and a little small. We had some crazy. The Jacksonville Jaguars just slamming the who they play. They slammed what was it? It was Indianapolis Colts 24-0. What a surprise that was. I mean, they none of it shut them out, but Indianapolis, and they're playing Kansas City this week at home. Oh my God, that's I don't even know what the spread is on that. Let's take a look at the spread on that one. The spread on this game, Kansas City, is what? Is Indianapolis plus 7.5. I gotta tell you, Chiefs are way better than the Jaguars. So let's think the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is just so on target with his game. Their defense is not great. They beat Arizona handily, 44-21. Only beat the Chargers by 3. So that's a surprise. What we got. Let's see. We got a game going on right now. And it's 14-16. I mean, I have Cleveland on this game. I'm expecting them to. It's going into the fourth quarter. I'm expecting them to take this game. So we have our first guest of the evening. I'm happy to see Remy, who is going to salivate over her New York Giants, who had a great. They with a bad quarterback. They are 2-0, having beaten Tennessee by 1 in a fluke, and Tennessee stinks, and Carolina by 3. And this week playing Dallas. I think Dallas. I took Dallas last week. That's kind of a surprise. So let's see what Remy has to say about this. So here is the number 1 Giants fan of the left coast. So glad to have you.
Hi.
And I gotta say, Barkley. I don't know how many I guess they would pick 4 Pro Bowl people per game, like 2 for each. I don't really know, but Barkley is with a kind of a weak team is an amazing runner. What do you think?
Well, I told you, remember the first week I said he's going to get comeback player of the year? That's my vote.
Yeah, I
So, yeah. Well,
and come back because he's and I already who had such a great. Oh no, I'm thinking Aaron Judge has got to get MVP for his I don't know
based on.
why I was thinking MVP, but
He,
Yankee.
no, he is, yeah, he should get MVP of American League. You're
Who
right.
should? Aaron
Aaron,
Judge.
yeah.
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
because Otani, and nothing to take away from him, and he's great, but he does both sides of the ball. But he doesn't. They win when he pitches. They don't win when he hits. And Judge is keeping the Yankees in the playoff race, which
Right,
makes you the most valuable player.
right,
They have the worst record, one of the worst records in baseball. So that rule of like you're not really the most valuable player to your team because your team is still not winning. So
right,
you're
right,
not getting them to that next level.
right, right.
So we'll
And
see.
it's like MVP is based on how you help your team. Imagine if they took into account. I mean, let's say you're a crappy team, but you are a big hitter, and your attendance goes up like from maybe 10,000 a game to 40,000 a game. Maybe they add certain parameters into the most valuable player. Aside from results of his team, it's like I guess that would be most valuable player to the organization. When you
Yeah.
bring.
Well, I mean, they were down by 8 runs to Pittsburgh, and he hits that home run, and then they rally and win the game.
Yeah.
That's the most valuable player, right? That he got the team that him hitting that home run was like, hey, we got to start stepping up. And
Right.
now
Right.
it
Aaron
stinks.
Judge is like the classic Yankee. He's like a
Yeah.
new classic Yankee. Like I don't think Aaron Judge. He probably spent his whole career with the Yankees. I
Yeah,
think.
he's only with the Yankees, but they better sign him or else. Well, it looks like Cleveland's about to take over this game, but
Are they winning? Cleveland's ahead, right?
they're about to score a touchdown now. But I blame the defense. I blame Pittsburgh's defense because that beautiful shuffle pass that would have got them down on the 10-yard, they would have scored on that play.
Right.
And then those two back-to-back penalties. And
I'm not.
now,
I'm not. I'm not. Trubisky to me, he's. There's such a level of difference between quarterbacks, of great
right.
quarterbacks, and like Trey Lance. This guy isn't even going to get a chance to show himself. I mean, he has a bad first game, and I really think he did show himself in the first quarter. He didn't get anything. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And Garoppolo came in, and I didn't get the picture. I know I froze a picture of it. He was in, and he came in, and he was smiling, and I don't know what he was smiling about, but I don't think he was happy the guy got hurt, but I'm sure he was happy he was playing.
Well, yeah, he knows he's the guy now, and this is his time. He has to really make something out of this time because if he can get them to the Super Bowl and maybe win it, then he becomes an Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love situation, or now a team's going to want him next year to be their starter.
Well,
he's got
a great. Do you have feedback when I talk on this one? Or no?
You have a little echo.
Little echo. Let me go back to.
So.
And I was like, "What happened? Where did he go?"
Yeah, right. All right. I'm experimenting with things. So, but his contract, I didn't know. I was reading his contract that if he plays more than 25% of snaps, he gets like 250 or 350,000, something like that, which is insane.
Which he's going to do.
Right, and then if he wins, he gets another 100,000. So he's already going to play the whole season. So he's already going to up his salary to be like $4 million or something like that.
Well, he's already losing $15 million because he took a lower contract from what he was guaranteed. So he's still losing money because the guarantee by signing. But at the end, San Fran looks very smart, and so does he. Or San Fran doesn't have to show that, oh my God, we didn't really believe in late Trey Lance now because he's hurt.
Well, he's probably he's a great backup quarterback to have. He's
Jimmy?
It's a great backup quarterback to have.
Oh yeah.
Right. Who are they playing? They're playing this week. They're playing
Seattle.
They're playing. Who are they playing?
Seattle, aren't they?
No, they're playing. Where are they?
Denver. They're playing Denver.
They're playing Denver. They're playing Denver.
No,
So
I said Seattle because I remember they're going against Russell, and I'm still not used to him being in a Denver uniform. But I know I'm like, oh, he knows Russell. He's played against them. That's why I was thinking Seattle.
Right. What do you think of this one coming up? I don't know. I think San Francisco is just they played strong against Seattle. They just beat Seattle, and Denver. What do they do? They lost to Seattle, and then they barely beat Houston. So I'm a that's why I'm wearing my throwback San Francisco jersey.
I don't know about the new head coach. He came from Green Bay as offensive coordinator. He might not be ready. He's got Russell Wilson, and that's two weeks in a row. They should be 2-0, and they should be 2-0 by a big margin. Like they should have beat both those teams. Like San Fran did to Seattle. Denver should have been able to do that the week one with those guys.
Right, but something's going on. Russell Wilson is not playing great.
Well, that's the thing. In the first 2 weeks, no one's playing in the preseasons anymore, and I get it, but they got to play at least one game because everybody that didn't play preseason looked it on the first 2 weeks of the season. So these first 3 games are basically their preseason games. So they're getting all their kinks out, especially if you're with a brand new team. He went to a brand new team and didn't play any preseason games.
Right.
You just can't. You can't do that. So, I mean, you just can't do that, and that's why he doesn't look right. He's in a new offense and got a new head coach who's never head coached before. So
I think that and San Francisco.
I think
you think Seattle is going to take that? The next one?
Seattle? No, San Francisco.
Denver.
I think San Francisco can beat. Yeah, I think they can beat Denver.
Wow, and Denver's giving 1.5 points. I think
the only thing is Russell knows that team. He's played them many years for the past 10 years, twice a year. And if Kittle can come back, I don't know. Jimmy G has to really. He stepped up last week, and he has to step up this week, and he's got to play like a franchise first round quarterback. He's got to play like your main quarterback.
Their defense held. I'm gonna go San Francisco. I would take them with the points, and I would take them straight. What would you? And you're a big San Francisco fan, though.
No,
right? Not that you're a fan, but you kind of like Garoppolo, right?
Yeah, I like people. Like, honestly, I was really rooting for Pittsburgh. I hate Pittsburgh. I've never rooted for them, but Cleveland, what they did with getting just Deshaun Watson, and I think the guy's a menace. I really think he shouldn't be playing ball. As a female, I'm offended by him, and I'm offended by this team and these fans that I rooted for them when they had Baker, because I'm like, this team deserves it. Now, what they did with Deshaun Watson, how they guaranteed him all that money, and if you talk to anybody, he had 24 cases, which means there was actually 60 plus, because you talk to any sexual therapist, they always say how many of our people come forward, triple that, because the other third doesn't.
Sexual problems in sports is so prevalent, and they get away with it. Like, look at James Winston. He had all his problems in college. And those people are doing whatever they're doing, but now he's in the NFL. He made his mistakes, and he's making millions of dollars. Is that fair? Is it, do we forgive people, or do we penalize them? And it's sports they get away with a lot of things.
Well, I mean, the problem with it's a business, right? So, and as a woman, I'm offended. But if you're Joe Schmo, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. You go to jail.
Right.
Or, you don't get
right. Like they'll do a sting, and they'll sting like people that, made one approach to a undercover officer or something like that.
Yeah.
And they get their picture in the paper and this and that, and then you get an athlete who has multiple accusations against them, and they get away with it. And here it brings up what was it? So the Boston Celtics head coach, you know about this, was
Yeah,
suspended for the season. Suspended for the season for having a romantic relationship with a staffer, which I guess is against the rules.
but it
So
was consent. But
was
I'm
consensual.
wondering if his wife is Nia Long, if that's got something to do with it.
What? Oh, is he
He's
married?
married to a model / actress, so something
Oh,
must
so
have happened.
he was having an affair.
Yes.
Because I didn't know that, and I was looking at it as because they were talking about how a couple players went into the crowd, and they got in a fight or something. They got suspended 1 or 2 games, and then someone got yelled at the ref. He got suspended for a game, but then this guy gets suspended for a season for romance, like for love. He's suspended. You
So we
know,
don't know
it's
the story. They haven't leaked anything really about what's happening. Yeah, so we don't know why. But
well,
like it
supposedly it
seems
was
like
just
very much.
against their policy. It just was there was supposed to be no.
Yeah, so it's not the league, it's them, right? The league's not doing it. They
No,
actually
I think the league suspended them. Suspended. I don't know. That's what I read, but it's just weird how a guy could get in a fight with someone in the crowd and get 1 game suspension, and then someone gets romantic, and he gets for having a romance. So love is penalized. Love is penalized.
It just goes to show you sports doesn't like women.
No, right?
They keep saying they do and hiring women for the NFL, hiring women to do this, but deep down they don't.
You don't think? Wow, there's some.
Well, I'm just saying, anytime there's something against women, the women loses.
You know what bothers me about sports and women is like there are a lot of very knowledgeable female sports people, and as far as on air, like you have to have a certain look to be on. When you go, except maybe everyone that's on is fairly attractive as far as as far as a female. So they're trying to be equal, but there's really somewhat of a prejudice because I haven't seen an overweight sideline reporter, let's say, an overweight but maybe that's because they're not athletic.
No,
maybe that's the problem.
No, you can't say that. No, but like the women that came out in the beginning, before it became popular, like the real like women that knew sports and got it because they knew sports, not because their dad did it or they knew somebody.
Right. Right. There's
a
lot of guys like that, like Sims, the Sims son. Huh?
He knows quarterbacks, so he's kind of interesting to listen to. He knows well, that's the thing now. Now sports announcing is going to ex-players, children that grew up in the sport,
right.
Like if anything, at least Sims played. He played for Tampa. He was drafted. He played a couple seasons. He played the sport.
Right.
Chris Collinsworth's son didn't play any of it, and he's a sideline reporter for Sunday Night Football on NBC.
Right. So and there are people that are probably more deserving, right? And a little nepotism going on there, and knowing
it's like the world.
It's what?
It's like anything. It's like my father owns the company, and that's why I'm vice president. I mean,
right.
But
in sports, they're almost like afraid to lose an announcer. And, a guy says, well, I want my son to be in there. They're afraid to say no. They're afraid to like piss off the guy.
Well, it's like that now. It's like it's like anything, like actors now. There's so many actors whose children are in acting now that they get to go, they don't have to prove themselves. They get to go right in and there's some of their children are really good. Don't get me wrong. They're like, you're Emma Roberts. You're Julia Roberts' niece. Come on in. She's a good actress. But still.
Right. Because they got a name and
yeah, it's the same thing. They don't have to work their way through, and they kind of did that as kids going, I'll work around all these casting actors when I'm little.
Right. Yeah.
You're big.
Right. So did you watch a lot of games this week?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch a lot of games. I only got to watch the Packers game. got to watch some of the what
So
other
who the
game did I
Packers?
watch?
The Packers played with.
They beat the Bears.
Oh yeah, Chicago. Right, and the Packers covered. That was they beat them 27-10, and I'm just not a Justin Fields guy. I don't, and I'm not a Bears fan. I would like to be a Bears fan, but I don't think he's a great coach, a great quarterback, Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers. This is going to be a big game coming up. Tampa Bay, and Green Bay.
Green Bay.
In Tampa Bay.
I'm taking Green.
You are?
Green Bay on that one. Yeah.
I took Tampa Bay.
They got humiliated. They got humiliated last year. I think their defense is better this year. So
Right.
I think, and I think Godwin's out, right? Didn't he get suspended for a game?
Mike Evans, I think, for Tampa Bay got, got suspended. So,
which Lattimore shouldn't have gotten suspended. Lattimore was doing nothing. He was the one who got hit. He was just like, let him. I don't know why they suspended him too. He didn't deserve to get suspended.
Did he? I mean, I didn't see the play. Did he get hit bad? Was it a bad?
He's just sitting on the side. He's like, "Whoa, calm!" Because Tom Brady came at Lattimore first, and Lattimore's like, "Dude, calm down." And then Evanson knocks him down, and he's like, "Whoa, what's going up?" And he does it again, and then he's like, "Dude, don't touch me!" Like he kind of defended himself.
Right.
And then they suspended both of them.
I don't know. I'm not. You saw it though. Was it worthy of a suspension?
Evans, yeah, because he kept hitting. He went after him twice.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
He did. Cleveland up 23-14. Cleveland up 23. Cleveland up 23-14. So that's a good one. I'm glad I got Cleveland on that. I got destroyed in the pool last week. I just got.
This week's got a lot of tough matchups. I don't even. I heard you before I came on. Daniel Jones is not a bad quarterback. In fact,
you don't think?
I'm hoping Dayball turns him into the next Josh Allen. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's actually pretty good for what he's been given in the last 4 seasons. He's had 3 head coaches in 4 seasons.
Yeah.
He's on his 3rd head coach.
I just think he's like a sloppy player. I just don't. It's just something about him that just I can't go with him. And going back to like quarterbacks. So Jimmy Garoppolo was right. If that guy Trey Lance comes back, Jimmy Garoppolo could be. There's got to be teams that are going to want him. If he's ready to move out of his area, out of San Francisco, there's got to be a team. I mean, he's better than a lot of quarterbacks.
Well, that was the problem. He had surgery on his shoulder right at the end, right before the season. So no one was sure what he was going to look like. So no one wanted to take a chance on him.
Oh,
because his contract was so big.
Right.
And then they wouldn't trade him. They wouldn't release him because they were afraid someone like Seattle might pick him up. And so that would have to see him twice a year. But now we're seeing that, see if he can hold out and not get hurt and his shoulder's fine. Then someone's going to want him next year because they're going to have to stick with Trey Lance because they gave up so many draft picks to get him. And they said they banked their future on him. So they got to keep him.
Yeah. And I think that it was I think he's a disaster. I think, there's guys who was like Ryan Leaf came into the league. There's guys that come into the league that just don't do it. They don't make it. They can't. He has so in game 1 he scored 10, and so 1 touchdown, and so in 5 quarters he's got 1 touchdown. That's it, Trey Lance. So
he hasn't played a lot of football. He didn't play that much in college. He didn't play.
That says a lot about the general manager there, and so where I'm having trouble picking this week is Houston and Chicago. I have no idea. I call that one the battle of the bads.
I took Houston because Mills I think is a good quarterback, and they almost beat Indianapolis, who now we think isn't going to be good. We thought they might be a good team when beginning of the season,
right?
But now they're not looking so hot. So, I mean, I don't know. I think they can win it. I picked Houston.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's only 2.5 points.
I have Houston. I took Houston, and You know where I'm also having trouble? Buffalo and Miami. I like Miami. I think that the quarterback he's doing a good job. They're scoring a ton of points. They scored 20 against New England, 42 against Baltimore, but they gave up a lot of points. But let's see, Buffalo.
Now, Buffalo is taking your soul. They scored 65 points just last week and gave up 20. No, gave up
No,
10.
Buffalo scored 41.
Buffalo, I don't. Oh, 41. Yeah.
But they've scored average of 35 a game. With a great defense. Gave up 10 points and 7 points. You know, I might switch that because their defense is spectacular.
Yeah. I don't know. They're not if they fall behind Miami, they're not going to be able to come back like they did against because I think Buffalo has a better defense than what you call it. Baltimore.
Yeah,
I can't even think Baltimore. So if they get
right,
Josh Allen won't let you come back. They won't let you come back from a lead. And if you do try to come back, he'll just score 10 more points.
And and Buffalo beat the Rams in the first week, who's definitely probably a better team than the Dolphins. So all right, I might have to adjust that pick. So I'm liking Miami though. I'm gonna get mad if I change it. And I didn't pick Miami though. I didn't make a pick on that yet, so I can't get mad. So Buffalo's the better team. Buffalo's really the better team. So here's one. So Cincinnati, who is 0-2, surprisingly, and the Jets are 1-1. Who, I want to see something about Baltimore. Baltimore scored, even in a loss. Baltimore scored an average of 31 points a game, 24 in the first, 38. Who are they playing? I'm taking Baltimore over. They're playing Baltimore's playing the New England this week. They beat the Jets.
Oh, that's right. They're playing New England. Why am I getting them all wrong?
That's all right. And Cincinnati Jets are playing Cincinnati. And what do you think of that one, Cincinnati and the Jets?
I took the Jets because of the points. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's 5 points they get, 4.5, right?
Jets. Let's see what the spread is on the Jet game. Jets. So if we're talking spreads, we've got the Jets plus 4.5. I think that's a good 4.5, and because I think they could win the game. I just think Cincinnati's playing so badly. Especially for.
Well, that's because Joe Burrow didn't play, and then he had his appendix taken out in the preseason, so he hadn't played. These are his first 2 games playing.
You think he's gonna get better? You think he's in a little pain?
No, that and they said they shored up their O-line, but it doesn't look like it. He's been sacked 9 times in 2 games.
He has?
He was a quarterback last year, and he looks like he's going to be the most sacked quarterback this year. It's like starting all over again. So I don't know.
Yeah, if let me see, Cincinnati.
And also Pittsburgh.
Cincinnati gave up 23 and 20. Cincinnati, I'm not a fan of right now. I'm not a fan.
They're not losing. I mean, they're not giving up lots of points, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
What
do you think?
Steelers are 0 without TJ Watt.
Who's the guy that got hurt? Was it who's with Pittsburgh, right?
TJ Watt. Yeah, they're 0-5 when he's not in the lineup.
Yeah, that's a problem because he got hurt in that game, in that first game or something, or in between. So how long is he out for? Like 6 weeks, 5 more weeks?
Yeah, something like that. He doesn't need surgery, so that's a plus.
Right.
Surgery would take him out for the season, but
he's too powerful. So Pittsburgh, right. He could have stopped Cleveland. He could have helped, but they're in trouble without him.
He definitely would have been helping this defense tonight.
Oh boy. So what do you think about coming up? The Rams and the Cardinals. So both teams from St. Louis.
I'm taking the Rams. I'm taking the Rams. The Cardinals should be 0-2. They should have never been able to come back and beat the Raiders. So my Raiders pick of winning that division is looking slim now because they're 0-2. But I mean, they shouldn't have gave up that lead, 15-second run around and give them a 2-point conversion. That's ridiculous.
Right. Oh, that was crazy.
Renfro putting it on the ground twice, and I don't know if Josh McDaniels isn't ready, but two targets to Driver, like what the hell? Like that's his best friend. He should be getting the ball a zillion times.
What's the spread on that? I'm looking at taking Arizona straight up. Arizona plus 4.5. You look at scores and you think, oh, that's not 4.5 is not that much, but there's so many close games.
Yeah.
There really are. There's so many games by 3 points or less or 4 points. I'm looking right now. I'm looking last week 6-4, 4, 34, 3, 17, 3, 1, 3, 7, 9, 17 big one, 7, 24, 24. That's a 3. A lot of 3 and 4 point games. So those are definitely, that's a good spread to pick. And
well, football's becoming that sport where they're getting so good now and getting so good young and getting out there younger that I don't see those crappy teams all the time anymore. You're not going to see, Jacksonville's going to go 0-16. Right. You're going to see from now on, I think 500 and above football on, because they have to play each other teams twice in their division. But when they go outside the division, I think you're going to see a lot of evened teams now, and not these big, like this team wins 12 games all the time, this team loses 12.
Right.
I mean, just.
What do you think of the Jaguars and the Chargers coming up?
The it depends. I took points. I took Jacksonville because we don't know what Herbert's going to look like because he's got those that bruised cartilage or whatever he's got, and so he's going to be wearing a flak jacket or something. So, are you watching this game? Trubisky's nailing it, dude. He's throwing some beautiful passes. He's going to his tight end 3 times in a row and for 15 yards.
So as far as Chargers,
Into his hands for interception.
What happened?
No, he was out of bounds. Good.
What happened?
Huh?
What happened?
He threw a beautiful pass, and the guy tipped it into the defense's hands, but then he was out of bounds. Well, he kind of overthrew it a little bit, but he's out of bounds, so it's not an interception.
So what do you think of Dallas and the Giants?
If we can beat the Dallas, then I'm going to start being excited about the Giants. If we can beat Dallas, I'll start being excited about the Giants.
I like Dallas. I think their backup is doing. Their backup is.
We were in the red zone 3 times last week and only got field goals, or 4 times and all we got was field goals and 1 touchdown. We just can't be in that red zone and not score touchdowns. We should have crushed the Panthers. We should have been up 21-0 at one point.
That's big. That's big. I did a game. I did a game a couple weeks ago, and it was at Fresno State, and I did a graphic about. Like they had a 50-yard drive, a 60-yard drive, and another big drive, and in the red zone, and they got 2 field goals and lost the ball at one. Like you're making all these plays, and you can't get into the end zone when you're in the red zone. That's a huge problem. That's a major coaching or player. Something's going wrong, and it's got to be with the coaching picking the wrong plays. So. We're going to do a little segment. I'm going to have a little segment. It's going to be like a 2.5, 3-minute break that we could take. And I'm hoping to do this every week. So you could have a little break. You could have a little break or watch or whatever. So it's the fun celebrations. I love the dances that these players do. So we're going to have a little fun with it.
Together.
Here we go. Ooh. That was our little weekly dance thing, and it's fun. I wish I had the raw footage because I would like to see some of the full dances. I don't know why they don't the TV. This is where Casey was good last year. She would comment on TV stuff, and the dances, like the camera guys are very close. I mean, I guess that's what they're told to do, and directors are not adjusting. I wish the directors would adjust. I wish that, I mean, these guys are dancing and celebrating, but mechanically, so many directors in sports television, it's so mechanical, and they're not necessarily creative. They're just, I mean, I know most of them, and they just go to the close up. It's like that's the thing. It's, if you watch a game, it's pretty mechanical. The play starts, they zoom in, or if it's a pass, they stay wide, and then when the play develops, they zoom in and they cut to the guy who had the play, or the coach, or the defender, or one of them, and then when they're in the end zone now, that they're going to dance and they're going to celebrate. So to me, show it. It's fun. So the celebrating is fun. It's not taunting. It's just fun, and they all do it. I mean, the only thing I don't like now is when a team. I want to ask Remy about what she thinks. When a team is losing by like 20, and a player gets a first down on the losing team, and he like does that thing. He points like we got the first down. I'm like, dude, you're losing by 20. Don't celebrate. You have nothing to celebrate. That's
Well,
your job, is to get a first down.
But they have to get excited and get the team pumped. Like, this is our comeback. That's what you have to do.
I guess, but it's
And
like,
your little thing, I like the waddle dance. Because he waddled like a duck.
right? He waddled. I like. He waddled. I didn't notice that until I saw his name come up. I'm like, he's doing the waddle.
As soon as I saw it was Miami, I'm like, that's got to be waddling. So
Right. He's waddling. And Jalen Hurts should have something where he gets hurt or something. Should like hit himself in the head. And then and then I didn't get a long one on the Packers. You know that thing with supposedly how Aaron Rodgers is taking some kind of medication or something. So they did like a little dance and they lit up or something, and then they just like passed out. So that was
I
their
didn't see that.
celebration. Oh yeah, that was a thing that they did, and it was pretty funny. I like the celebrations. I like the dancing. I like the flipping. And again, I just think directors should start adjusting for those things. You know, being in it.
The league doesn't want that though. The league wants the game to go fast. They want you to have your little celebration and be done. For a while, they got rid of the celebrations. Remember, they were penalties.
Right, but they brought it back because it's fun.
Yeah.
So if they're going to bring it back, just show it a little. The fans in the crowd get to see it. I would just zoom out a little bit and show a little bit more of the dancing. It's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So let's see what other games we got. Jacksonville Chargers. I don't know if we really discussed that one. So what do you think?
I said I was taking the points. I'm not sure. I think Jacksonville might be a better team than we think, but I don't know what Herbert's going to look like because he's hurt and he's playing.
What's the matter with Herbert?
He got knocked out in the Kansas City game. He's got bruised cartilage in his ribs or something like that.
Oh boy!
So they're going to be able to play, but he's going to be in a jacket, I think. So
is that the one? Is that the one where he could have got the first down and ran, but he didn't? He still threw the ball, even though they got the first down, but he was so hurt that he didn't. It was like 4th and 1 or something.
He came in, he got hurt, went back out, and after that he came back out. He went out and go, I can't do it.
Right. And Jacksonville had a good game and that could be an upset. Huh.
Yeah, and Jacksonville almost won the game. Jacksonville could easily be 2-0. They didn't get stomped the week 1, right? Can't remember. I think they were
right. They lost to Washington.
They were beating them like 20-0 at one point. They let Washington come back. I think they were winning that whole game. They could have been 2-0 right now.
Yeah,
and they're So
who's a surprise team? I think Detroit is a surprise. The Lions are a surprise.
I say yes and no because I think Goff is not as bad as a quarterback as everybody thought he was.
Right.
He took the Rams to the Super Bowl. He took them to a playoff, and he looked good last week. And if you get him
I think they improved.
Offensive line,
they improved their team. Last year they just had a bad team. You can't throw if you got no line. That's just if you're not getting time, you're not going to throw. But they look like a completely different team. And Minnesota, Kirk Cousins, I think he had five turnovers last week. When Minnesota had 5 turnovers, he is just horrible.
They weren't looking so good. So I don't know about. But they looked so good on the first week, and we thought, I was rooting for them to win because if they would have knocked Philly out, I'd be in first place all by myself.
Right.
So. I mean, Philly's the team to beat in that division. I mean, they just have all the weapons, and they've got Jalen Hurts, and he's a good quarterback. And
so you think Philadelphia over Washington next week, right? This week, Philadelphia's playing at Washington.
Yeah, I think, but don't they have like 7 points or the point spread or something as big?
In the spread, let's see. In the spread. Philadelphia giving up 4.5, but Philadelphia seems like they just seem to be a pretty strong team. They scoring a lot. Washington's scoring a lot, but they're giving up a lot. And Philadelphia, they were tight last week against Minnesota. So
but they're playing But when you play your rivals, your inner city, your division, it's so much different. It's the different atmosphere, different needs and wants, and they're always such interesting games. So I think it'll be a close game.
That'll be a good game. That'll be a good game. Yeah, that could be. Because I'm not in any money pools with points, but that's everything is just straight up money. A money pool with points would be fun, but we have our pool with points, but I'm in these money pools that are straight up, and
I like straight up games. I don't like the odds because then it's like, dang it. I like just picking them to win.
right, but it
Then
just
it's like,
changes it.
they lost by 2 points and it was 2.5 because they always
Right.
put that half in there so you can't win.
Well, that's why they do it.
So
That's why they do it. The Vegas wants to make their money. So let's see. Here's one. Too bad Lou's not on. New Orleans and Carolina. So the Saints beat Atlanta by 1, but lost to the Bucks. And Carolina is
they're not bad. They should have beat the Browns. They had them beat, and they didn't play bad. They just against the Giants, they only lost by 3. I'm actually taking Carolina.
You are,
because I'm still not sure about the Rams. I mean, I'm not sure about New Orleans right now. I'm taking because I think Baker's due for a good game. I think, and McCaffrey's due to like break it out. So I think I could totally be wrong, but
I think Carolina's got some injuries. You know what? I look at the injury reports, and I wish that they were a little more specific. Like, oh, this guy's a starter and he's out, and because they just give you an injury report, you don't really know. And then sometimes you look at the depth chart and it shows you, but then some depth charts already have, like, if a quarterback's out, they already have him off the roster and they moved up their second guy to the first tier, and so you don't really know. I wish the depth charts were a little more.
Browns.
I wish I had a staff to look all this stuff up. So let's see what else we got here. We got Atlanta, and we didn't talk about that. So I think like the best games this week. I think Dallas Giants is going to be a great game. Not that they're great teams, but I think it's that they're very equal. So I think that's.
Well, it's the first time this game's been relevant in like how many years? It hasn't been relevant in years, and as long as Giants. Or there's more Giant fans than there are Dallas fans. Now that we're winning, there'll be more Giants fans. Because last year I think it was more Dallas fans than Giant fans. So I like J-Ball. I like what he's doing with the Giants. I think he's going to be a good coach. And I think if he made Josh Allen. So if he could do that for Daniel Jones is only in his 4th season and he's fast.
They're different quarterbacks, though.
They're different.
Josh Allen is.
Josh is bigger, but they're both tall. They both can run. They both have arm accuracy. He's actually got a really accurate arm.
But Josh Allen's a real run. He's very aggressive. I think he's much more aggressive than Daniel Jones. Like Josh Allen is more apt to take off and run than Daniel Jones. So here's.
But then he got hurt last year. I think because he got hurt in his neck injury, I don't think he's taking as many chances, or they're not taking as many chances with him.
Yeah.
To run, because that's what happened. He got hurt running last year and hurt his neck and missed the whole season.
So I would think then he's going to be cautious this year also. No, because
yeah, I mean he ran in for a touchdown last week. I think the touchdown we had was him running it in. I believe. I don't know.
You know, I'd like to know. I got to look at the top rushing. Oh, so they scored a field goal, huh? Pittsburgh.
They did. And they did an onside kick and almost got it back, and then Pickens was offside, so they got the ball. They had a penalty. They had to re-kick it. Yeah. Trubisky threw there in like 20. He had some great passes. Trubisky looked really good.
So let's see. Dallas is not great against the run, and they have Barkley, the Giants. So
Micah Parsons scares me. He's a beast, so I don't know. But if our offensive line's a lot better, it's the best it's been in 6-7 years. Finally,
right.
We're finally getting that right. Because who knows what would have happened if they had O-line all this time? Barkley could lead the league in rushing. He could Daniel could be different. I don't know.
Right. You know, I'm going back to Buffalo, Miami. I'm looking at Buffalo. They got a great quarterback. They got the #1 rushing defense in the league. I don't know how their pass defense is. So I got let's see. Because I'm really the Miami game is scaring me a little bit. So let's see.
It's going to be
Cincinnati's got a. What was that?
It's going to be a good game to watch. I think Miami beat them last year in the first game of the season, right?
Yeah, that's why the first game is always like a tough. It's always tough to tell. It's always, the second week. Now you got some upsets, and now the third week is when, I guess, like you were saying, it's kind of a preseason. But I'm switching over. I got a lot of road teams winning this week. I remember you said the first week you had a lot of road teams, but I have way too many road teams winning. So I'm a little nervous about that.
You're not winning the Giants game.
I'm taking Dallas in that one, but maybe I'm going to adjust that. So let's see. How much time left in the? There is how much time left in? Oh, that game's over.
It's 4th and inches. No, they still have the ball at 4th and inches.
Oh, Pittsburgh does?
No, it's 4th and inches with Cleveland having the ball, and they're going for first down to end it, as opposed to just. Yeah, they have to go because I think they have a timeout.
Where do they got the ball at?
40-yard line.
The opponent or theirs?
No, they let the clock run down. They have to give it back to them with 14 seconds left.
Oh no!
They have to punt and give.
Wait, no! Wouldn't they just get a penalty and move back?
No, they let it go to false start or like delay a game. So now they got a kick. They let it get down to 15 seconds.
But now they're going to punt, right?
To Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh will probably have it back on the 20 with 15 seconds, no timeout.
Right.
So that's
20 or 25. Where do they get the ball now?
I don't know. They're going to kick it now. We'll see.
Right.
They have to punt.
I wish I had that game up. I would just, because it's so little time, I wouldn't get flagged for it. But I once did it, and I was suspended from Facebook for a month. So I don't do it anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I used the copy. I used the network feed. So,
funny because but is Amazon Prime a network? They're not. They're streaming.
Yeah, but but it's still copyrighted material. It's like I don't have the rights. They have the rights to it. Like I don't have the rights to rebroadcast.
He kicked it out. On the 4-yard line. He kicked it out to the 4-yard line.
Oh, good punt.
I can't stand Cleveland now. I hate them. I hate that team. I hate that city. I hate that team.
But they have that cool. They got that cool elf in the middle, right? I don't know what that is, but
apparently it's a icon of a thing from back in the day in the 60s, and
right.
It's like a show, and it means a lot to that area in the city. I listened to Rich Eisen, and he talked about it for the whole week before last week.
Right. Because then, and I looked at the Chiefs. They got that A for the Arrowhead Stadium. But I like when they had the big Chief emblems, KC. So, all right. So we'll take it to the end of the. We'll take it to the end of the Cleveland
so stupid.
Game. What happened?
That was so dumb. The guy threw a 10-yard pass. He could have gotten out of bounds and done one through a home throw mass, and they started doing the throwback, and they got nothing out of it.
You know what? You wonder why they don't just go like big bombs each time, like 10 yards. I guess it's going to give them a little more room to maneuver, but. Oh
man, I can't. I'm not a fan, or I'm not rooting for at all for Cleveland ever again.
Well, I don't have
zero.
I don't have their whole schedule in front of me, but
the fact that they're 2-1 without Deshaun, so they can actually end up, if they keep doing this, go in the playoffs and then get Deshaun Watson back. And I just no way, dude. Can't stomach it.
When is he coming back though? He's
missing 11 games. He misses the first 11 games. So he'll be back.
The Browns got the Falcons next week, and then the Chargers. So, the Browns could be they could be 4-0. in the end of 2 more weeks. You know?
They lost last week. They lost the Jets.
Oh, well, they could be 3-1 then. They lost to the Jets. How did the Jets pull that one out? What was that, in overtime they won that one?
No, they won it with like no time. They threw that long pass and the defense gave up and let them catch it and thought, well, we won anyway. And then they did the onside kick and lost the onside kick. But they basically let the defense let the guy run because they're like, oh, he won't catch up with us.
Oh, was it the Jets that won the onside kick? Was that the game?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that ball was scrambling around a little bit. And then they got it.
Well, I mean, it almost happened here too. Pittsburgh almost got the onside kick back too. Right. Almost. And they could have gone in and went ahead again. It would have been fun to see them lose twice like that.
Boy, there's a long 10 seconds on that game. You know, I've met 9 seconds left in the game.
Oh, the game's over.
Oh, it is. It's over.
It's been over.
Oh, good. I was, I guess it's delayed. So good. At least I got one in the book. All right. Well, Remy, thank you very much for coming on today.
Well, thanks. And, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Let's see. We're Dallas and Giants. That's what you're waiting for. Is that your favorite team, the Giants?
Oh yeah. I showed you my shoes, right?
Yep. Yeah. Those are great. Do you wear them like just on Sunday, or do you wear them every day?
I'm wearing them every day. Since they won, I wear them every day.
Good.
Till they lose, I guess I'm gonna have to wear them every single day, even with dresses.
Right. Well, hopefully we'll see you. I think I'm going to do the show on Tuesday next week because I got to travel on Thursday. I'm either doing Tuesday or Wednesday.
I might be able to do Tuesday. I might. If I do, I'll have to do it for my job. But Wednesday, and I don't think so. I don't know. I'll see what Wednesday looks like.
All right. Well, it's up in the air. I just want to keep it going. Like, I don't want to miss a week. It's a little scramble still. The earlier part of the season for me is kind of a scramble. So, but I just want to keep it steady. Like, we haven't missed a show last week. Huh? No, she is pursuing her acting career, and
her what career?
Her acting career.
Her what career?
So, acting. So I don't know why she doesn't want to. I mean, she just was so good, like, and unique, and she always put her heart into it. It was great. She did her little things. I don't know. Maybe I'll write her a letter. I'll say, come on back. Come on back, Casey. Casey Tasty. And I think she enjoyed doing it too. So I don't know. So, all righty. Well, you have a good week. Let's see what happens. And I appreciate you, as always, coming on. So you got it. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Hopefully.
Bye.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it. I don't know where the other Sports Gluttons were this week. Supposed to come on, gave me the message. But we will see you next week. This is a fun week. This is a tough week. I mean, this schedule this year is so difficult. It's so tight that I can't imagine who put this together, but they did a great job, and the matchups are unbelievable. So I'll leave you with the schedule, and we'll play it out.